Hello YouTube. And even if that's being a touch harsh on the mostly excellent 12C, in certain respects there can be little doubt that the 650s is the car McLaren could have built initially, had it given itself a little more time in which to do so. In simpler terms, and on the other hand, the 650s is actually just a logical progression beyond what the 12C has achieved since its creation at the beginning of 2011. At its core it contains the same carbon fiber tub, the same 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, and the same 7-speed dual-clutch auto gearbox as the 12C. Despite sharing its fundamentals with the 12C, though, over 25% of the 650s is brand new, according to McLaren. So even if it is little more than a pumped-up 12C at heart with a new nose to give it more visual distinction, the 650s is genuinely a big leap forwards for McLaren. In coupe form the 650s costs £195,000, although a Spyder version is also available. For that you get a power increase from 617 bhp to 641 bhp, or 650 PS, hence the name. Torque also rises to 500 lb/Fort over 90%, of which is developed from 3000 rpm onwards. The gearbox has also been tweaked to produce even snappier shifts than before, and the car's responses have been altered subtly within the three different drive modes, normal, sport and track, to further increase the driver appeal. More modifications have been applied to both the soft and hardware of the suspension to sharpen the handling, but at the same time that spookily smooth ride quality that so distinguishes the hydraulically controlled 12C hasn't been compromised in any way. You'd have a harder job to spot the differences from the rear mind. Apart from a mildly redesigned diffuser and a couple of small new fillets of carbon fiber around the tail lights, the 650s looks all but identical to a 12C from behind. Inside there are several new features that distinguish the 650s. Alcantara becomes the standard trim material, the infotainment center takes its cues from the P1 and is much more intuitive to use as a result, and if you specify the new carbon fiber sports seats, which cost £5,000, ouch, but are fabulous to sit in, you also shave a not insignificant 15 kilograms from the car's already meager 1,330 kilograms dry weight. Carbon fiber ceramic brake discs become standard fitments, as do Pirelli P0 Corsa tires. When all is said and done with the 650s, performance is what this car is chiefly about. Yes, it looks better with its new nose, and yes, it's easier to interact with once you have climbed inside, but the key thing about the 650s is the way it drives, the way it goes, the immediacy with which it steers, the way it stops and the way it goes around corners. And in all of these areas the 650s is actually quite shocking to begin with in the way it does everything so much better than the 12C. Its performance doesn't sound that much more potent on paper, not to begin with at any rate. The 0 to 60 miles per hour time has dropped from 3.2 SEC to 3.0 SEC, while the 0 to 100 miles per hour time has fallen from 6.2 SEC to 5.7 SEC. But when you examine those numbers more closely, especially the 0 to 100 miles per hour time, you do at least get some idea as to how explosively fast the 650s now feels, because 5.7 SEC to 100 miles per hour is, by any standards and at any price point, ridiculously rapid, bearing in mind that the 650s is rear-wheel drive. What's so impressive about the 650s, though, is that it backs its titanic new levels of performance with such a mighty set of brakes and such a well-rounded set of responses from its steering, gearbox and suspension that it never feels like it has too much poke for its own good. However fast it can go, it can stop, steer, and change gear every bit as well. In sport mode it feels properly switched on. In track it feels not a lot unlike a racing car in the way it responds, although you do need to get some heat into its front tires before the turn-in lights up, because with the front Corsa stone cold, the 650s does understeer a touch too much. When we drove the 650s in Spain, however, we found the Spyder to be the more engaging drive. The good news, though, is that whether you opt for the coupe or the Spyder, there's no difference in lap times or performance. That's a commendable achievement for McLaren, and something which isn't always the case with European rivals. If you're in the market for a £200,000 supercar, then it's hard to think of anything that delivers better value than a 650s. When you've sampled what this car can do on road and track just once, you will want to come back for more, time and again, because the driving experience it offers is that rich, and that much more intense than it was in the 1.2C, which is saying something. But that's how mighty its achievements are, and how frightened by it Ferrari should now be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next video.